Welcome to another startup and complete car documentation. So what we have here is what I think is one of the most hotly anticipated cars of the past few years. This is a 2020 Jeep Gladiator Sport S. And this particular one has been fitted with some aftermarket goodies to make this especially adventure ready. You got the meaty off-road tires, you got the winch, and you even got a bed rack with a rooftop tent. This thing is just waiting for who knows what kind of camping adventures. This Gladiator is painted in bright white, and it has the available Freedom Top hardtop roof. The front door panels have storage nets, and of course you get power windows, locks, and mirrors. The power window switches are in there. Cloth seating is with the Sport S trim features, and this one's sporting the black interior color scheme. Full manual seats on the Sport S trim. But now that we're behind the wheel, let's go ahead and start the engine. On the key you have the buttons for lock, unlock, and panic, and although this has a traditional key blade, it actually has push button ignition, even though it doesn't have smart key. For many years, Jeep fans were eagerly awaiting, clamoring for them to make a Wrangler pickup. The Wrangler is a quintessential off-road legend, and being an old-school body-on-frame SUV, a configuration with a pickup bed for those who needed it was something that tons of people wanted. In fact, many people had already been converting existing Wranglers into pickups for years. But finally, for 2020, Jeep introduced a brand new model to its lineup. The long-awaited, straight-from-the-factory Wrangler-based pickup truck. This new model was called the Jeep Gladiator. Now, the Gladiator nameplate had actually been used before by Jeep in the 1960s. It was the name of, fittingly enough, a pickup truck based on the Jeep Wagoneer of that era. The new Gladiator is pretty much exactly what it looks like. It's based on the current JL generation Jeep Wrangler, but in a crew cab pickup truck body style. It also has a longer wheelbase than the Wranglers. This would also mark the first time the Jeep brand sold a pickup since the Comanche ended production in the early 90s. Anyhow, the modern iteration of the Jeep Gladiator is still in its first generation as of the making of this video. And the Gladiator isn't just good at off-roading, as it can also hold its own in towing and hauling, with respective max capacities of 7,650 and 1,700 pounds for 2020 models. The Gladiator also features a lot of the Wrangler's cool functions, like the removable roof and doors, along with the folding windshield. For 2020, it was only available with one engine, the trusty Pentastar 3.6-liter gas V6. However, 2021 brought along a second engine option, that being a torquey 3-liter turbo diesel V6. The US market 2020 model year Jeep Gladiator comes in the following main trim levels: Sport, Sport S, Overland, and the even more off-road equipped Rubicon. On top of those, you also get some special versions like the Altitude, North Edition, and the Desert-rated Mojave, which has some hardcore off-roading upgrades of its own. Like I said before, the 2020 Gladiator could only be had with the 3.6-liter Pentastar V6 engine with about 285 horsepower. However, you did get two available transmissions, which are either a 6-speed manual or an 8-speed automatic. 4-wheel drive is of course standard. As for competition, the Gladiator competes with other mid-size pickups like the Chevy Colorado, Toyota Tacoma, and Nissan Frontier. So in the instrument cluster, you have 4 analog gauges: your tachometer, speedometer, fuel gauge, and temperature gauge. And there's also a digital info display, which can be gone through via these controls on the steering wheel. It has a 4-spoke design, leather-wrapped, multifunctional steering wheel. There are slight sport grips at 10 and 2. And as for controls, first the front of the spokes. On this side you have your information display controls, along with your hands-free phone and voice commands. And then on this side you have your cruise control. Then on the back of the spokes you have your volume and seek track audio controls. It is a tilt and telescopic steering wheel. Your headlight controls, panel dim, air vent for the driver. On this side is your exterior lighting stock. And then the wiper stock is on this side. Grab handles on the A-pillars. Going down the center of the interior, you have a little bit of storage up top, air vents, and right here is your main radio head unit. It is a touchscreen interface. We'll go over that more in a bit. Your push button ignition. Right here are all the controls for your single zone climate control, your hazard switch, your auto start stop toggle, traction control toggle, and crawl control. Below that, you have a power outlet. You've got an aux port along with a USB and a USB-C port. And right here are all your power window controls. A little bit of storage. 4-wheel drive lever. And your gear shifter. You get a backup camera, of course, when you put it in reverse. The parking brake is hand operated. You have 2 cup holders. You got a 2-tiered center console. Another USB port in there. I like this little texture they got going on. The glove box is lockable. Both sun visors do have vanity mirrors and lights. Passenger airbag indicator, and of course this has a removable roof panels in traditional Wrangler fashion. Look at that, a Chevy Kodiak with a pickup bed. Sweet. So here is the touchscreen infotainment system. You have AM, FM radio, and then also Bluetooth connectivity. So you push radio, takes you here. Settings and whatnot. Bring up your rear camera from here, don't have to be in reverse. Pretty simple setup. But now we'll go ahead and roll down the driver's window and take a look at the engine bay. Both front windows are automatic down. got 17-inch aftermarket Dirty Life rims. And open the hood. It's a bit different than your regular car. No problem if you're familiar with Wranglers. Powering the 2020 Gladiator is Chrysler's Pentastar 3.6-liter naturally aspirated V6 engine. It's an aluminum dual overhead cam 24-valve power plant with variable valve timing. It puts out 285 horsepower at 6,400 RPM and 260 pound-feet of torque at 4,400 RPM. The engine in this one is paired to the optional 8-speed automatic transmission with a manual mode, and 4-wheel drive of some sort is standard on all Gladiator models. Running on regular unleaded with a 22-gallon fuel tank, EPA estimates for automatic transmission Gladiators are 17 mpg in the city and 22 mpg on the highway. As for the suspension, you of course get solid axles front and back. Stopping the truck are 4-wheel ventilated disc brakes. Base curb weight for automatic Sport S models rounds up to about 4,700 pounds. As mentioned before, it can tow up to 7,650 pounds and haul a payload of up to 1,700 pounds, if properly equipped. As you saw earlier, the fuel cap is on the driver's side. Got the storage nets on the back door panels as well. Got storage beneath the back seats. Front seats do have storage pockets on the backs as well. Nice B-pillar grab handles. Speakers. LED lights. Open that back window. Your rear power window controls, rear air vents, and a couple cup holders. Now as for interior space, so I'm about 6'1", and I put the driver's seat where I would have it if I was driving, and legroom is not very good, but that's just with my circumstances. Of course, someone of my size behind someone of my size. If you're smaller, or if someone in front of you is smaller and the seat's further up, it probably won't be as bad. And headroom is really good. I mean, it's a squared off roof, so no problems with headroom. Even an auxiliary fuel can. And this thing is a tent. It pops up. It's closed in here but right now. Got a single exhaust. The Gladiator's bed offers 35.5 cubic feet of space. Anyhow, thanks for checking out this tour of this 2020 Jeep Gladiator. And as always, stay on the lookout for future tours.